Now, we know that getting the news out from some areas can be a challenge, but in this age of mobile phones and social networking, people are finding their own ways to get the story out. Matthew Chance reports on how some Muscovites are saying they're fed up with cover-ups.
A Russian protest song circulating on the internet about a Moscow car crash that's become a national controversy. A limousine carrying a powerful oil executive collided with a small car, killing its female passengers. With wide public anger, the lyrics say the oil guy will go to hell. Well, we've come to the very busy location in central Moscow where this accident recently took place. You can see there are some flowers been left as a memorial to the two women who were killed in what was essentially a head-on-head collision between two vehicles. Moscow is, of course, infamously a dangerous place in which to drive. So many road accidents happen here every year with so many fatalities. What makes this one so controversial, though, is the sense that many Russians have that the police are trying to cover up the facts, trying to protect the very powerful oil executive who was involved in his limousine, and to pin responsibility for this accident on the two women who died. Even though this is one of the most closely monitored stretches of road in Moscow, police say there's no CCTV footage of the crash, something critics dispute. They've also speculated that the small car may have lost control and rammed into the limousine. Many Russians think it's more likely the limousine was trying to overtake heavy traffic, colliding with the oncoming vehicle. Well, the matter is now being investigated by the authorities, but only after a furious campaign on the internet. Witnesses have been posting their own video of the accident scene. Bloggers have been railing against the police and the government demanding action. One blog says that if Vladimir Putin, the Russian Prime Minister, doesn't jail those responsible, he would be confirming his participation in the lawlessness of the Russian government. Another says cops in our country are here just to cover the backs of corrupt officials and bad people. Analysts say social networking sites are giving Russians a new voice, and that voice is being heard.
Earlier, it was possible to hide negative events, either at the local level or even at the national level. Now, because of social networking in Russia, it is almost impossible to put a lid on them.
It won't bring back those who've so tragically died, but it may make Russia a more accountable, even fairer place in which to live. Matthew Chance, CNN Moscow.
Fascinating story. Many of you have been sending me your views on this story. I want to show you a comment now from Tasmania. Troy Barrett commented on my Facebook page saying, "It's great to see people using social networks to push authorities into action, but we need to be careful that such online tools aren't abused by declaring an outcome to the investigation before that investigation even happens." So what do you think? Do you agree or disagree? We enjoy hearing from you. You can always connect with me on the social sites. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/EarlCNN, or find me on Twitter as well, twitter.com/EarlCNN, to sound off on the day's stories and to also show us what you think.
It's colorful and, yeah, it's attention-grabbing, but is it news? Taiwan-based Next Media is taking the headlines and turning them into cartoons in what they call news in motion. But as Anna Cohen reports, this whole new wave of journalism is drawing more criticism than praise.
A salacious tale of sex, infidelity and a car crash involving the world's most famous golfer was the perfect launchpad for billionaire Jimmy Lai's new business.
It's such a saucy story, you know, everybody wants to watch it, you know. Yes.
Were you surprised by the reaction that animation received?
No, I was not surprised because, you know, I always expected this is going to work.
Animation news, a visual medium that fills in the gaps when there is no video to tell the story. Or in the case of the Tiger Woods car crash and his wife's reaction, making things up when the facts are missing. Lai's Next Media owns the popular Apple Daily newspapers sold in Taiwan and Hong Kong. Its News in Motion section is linked to the paper's website, a $30 million project 2.5 years in the making. Since its launch in November, Lai says it's had more than 20 million views, 3 million of those related to the Tiger Woods incident. This is the nerve centre of operations, where newspaper stories come to life. Everything from local robberies and violent crimes to international events such as the failed Christmas Day plane bomber and the Haiti earthquake. Every afternoon, the team discusses which news items will be animated. A storyboard is drawn up and the script is given to the actors. These actors are recreating a Hong Kong street fight based on information from police reports. They're wearing motion capture suits which interact with sensors in the room. The motion is then transferred to the computer and the subjects are animated. In less than 4 hours, a 20-second clip is ready to go online.
As long as the animation is a direct interpretation of the text we haven't crossed the line.
But according to the Taiwanese government, they have. Next Media was fined $30,000 for violating a law exposing children to sex and violence. Its application for a TV license was also knocked back on fears the animation was too graphic.
If the truth or the dramatize of the news might hurt people's understanding and the humans' appreciation about what's going on around the world, that should be reconsidered.
This type of journalism has been attacked for its lack of accuracy and comical overtones.
Let's not confuse a bunch of cartoons with what people in the news business do. If this is the future of tabloid journalism, then I don't want any part of it. And if this creeps into what I would call more serious journalism, then people are just going to lose confidence in us.
While state-of-the-art offices and a TV station is being built in Taipei, Lai says his potential clients extend far beyond Taiwan's borders.
And through AP or Reuters, we can sell to all TV stations at a very cheap price. Even at a very cheap price, we can make a lot of money.
With discussions underway with several international news agencies, Lai is confident animation is the future, and he's at the cutting edge. Anna Corrin, CNN, Taipei, Taiwan.
Toyota's president says he is committed to building the safest cars in the world. Now, Akio Toyoda and other company execs will try to convince skeptical U.S. lawmakers. Kyung La is following all the hearings and investigations from Tokyo. She joins us now live. Kyung.
Well, Monita, there is mounting pressure on all sides. In the United States, there are a number of new developments. A grand jury investigation that is exploring whether or not there will be possible criminal charges against Toyota. There is an SEC investigation. There are also a number of class action lawsuits, plaintiffs looking for billions of dollars in damages potentially from Toyota. There are also a number of internal documents that have been leaked that have shown that Toyota may not have been as transparent as is publicly stated. Here in Japan, the pressure is mounting as well. Lawmakers concerned that this is going to have an impact not just on the economy, but also U.S.-Japan relations. Here's what one Japan watcher told us.
If it's perceived here in Japan that this is a slap in the face to Mr. Toyota and therefore the rest of corporate Japan, Toyotas will still be sold in the U.S. and we're still going to buy Sony TVs and what have you. But long term, they could have a very, very dampening negative impact upon the future of U.S.-Japan relations.
Toyota certainly will be entering a very tough room when he walks into that congressional hearing on Wednesday in the United States. Lawmakers are exceptionally skeptical. They have publicly said so, and they say they are looking forward to questioning the head of Toyota in person. Now, in advance of that, Toyota has released an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal. He says he's taking all of this very personally, writing, quote, "All Toyota vehicles bear my name. When cars are damaged, it is as though I am as well." He goes on to write, quote, "I recognize that we must do better, much better in responding to safety issues." Akio Toyoda is scheduled to testify in the United States on Wednesday. As a primer to that, the day before on Tuesday, sometime today, we are going to be hearing from the U.S. executives of Toyota. Monita?
Kyung, for a nation that puts its reputation is amongst its highest priorities, and saving face as something is very, very important. How are they dealing with this, and what are they thinking about Toyota having to go and stand in front of the U.S. Congress and lawmakers to explain himself, if you will?
Well, we're seeing a couple of different reactions from the lawmakers here in Japan. There's a lot of concern, people saying that Toyota has got to make American consumers and American lawmakers understand that it must be transparent, try to give as much information as possible. But we're also seeing a backlash here. Akio Toyoda, because of his last name, because of this company being Japan's #1 company to the globe, he's a favorite son here. And so the fact that he has to go to America and explain this, they see this as necessary, good relations, good business relations. But if this goes badly, if he falters, and if American lawmakers really do, as our analyst said, disrespect Toyota, then there is going to be some significant reaction here from Japan and a severe dampening of that U.S.-Japan relationship. So, we're seeing a two-prong approach here, as far as one end reacting very strongly and then another end reacting strongly as well. Very little in between.
And you'll be watching all of that for us. Kyung-la in Tokyo, thank you so much.